everyone, and thanks for tuning into Your Natural Health right here on News 12 New Jersey, as local news gets. I'm your host, Dr. Derek De Silva, a practicing internist with an interest in complementary medicine. You know, medicine today is quite diverse, and the world of natural medicine and the world of pharmaceuticals are two very important facets in total patient care. Yet, they don't always work in harmony. Well, on this program, I attempt to bring together what I call the best of both worlds. My guest today is a leading expert in the field of orthokeratology. I hope I said that correctly, which is the generic term for gentle vision shaping, or GVS. Dr. Nicholas Despotaitis joins us now, and he's going to talk to us about this new procedure of GVSS. I forgot an S in there. Gentle Vision Shaping System.
That's correct.
I guess is what it is. First of all, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got involved in this whole thing.
Sure. I'm a practicing optometrist. I practice in Hamilton Square, New Jersey, about half an hour from here in Middle Mercer County. Orthokeratology has been around for a number of years, but recently has been FDA approved. And basically what orthokeratology is a part of eye care where you use a specially made contact lens, if you will, that someone puts in their eye at night when they go to sleep. When they wake up, they remove the lens, and if they're nearsighted and if they're a good patient, they'll be able to see very, very well, oftentimes 20/20 throughout the day. So basically what GVSS is a non-surgical way to temporarily correct nearsightedness.
Is this something that can also be used for somebody who's farsighted, or is it just for nearsighted?
Right now, it's FDA approved just for nearsightedness.
And explain to us and explain to the viewers very quickly what nearsightedness is.
That's great. Nearsightedness refers to the ability to see up close. However, you cannot see far away. So for the members of your audience, if they're able to take off their glasses and see clearly up close, yet the TV is blurry, they are more oftentimes nearsighted.
What you're saying here is that, and the way I've seen this build is that this is an alternative to the LASIK procedure.
That's correct.
What is the difference between this and the LASIK procedure?
LASIK is an eye surgery that basically reshapes the cornea by removing tissue in order for the patient to see better far away. And millions of people have had it done. We perform it in our office, and it's a very valid technique. However, there's a strong segment of the population that really is not interested in a surgical procedure on their eyes, especially children, because they're not candidates for laser. So subsequently, this is an ability to put on a lens, see clearly when they remove it. Now, the main difference between the two is LASIK is permanent tissue removal. That's how it works. However, the GVSS type retainer lens, you must put it on every night to maintain the good vision. So it's almost the opposite of traditional contact lenses. You put the lens in at night before you go to sleep, and you remove it in the morning upon awakening. And when the retainer lens is fit properly, and it's fit differently for every patient, they're able to maintain good vision throughout the day.
So how does something like this work when you're sleeping, what does that have to do with your vision and correcting your vision at night?
What happens basically, and I brought in a diagram to show you.
Okay.
Patients who are nearsighted do not get a good image on the retina itself. So subsequently light comes in and it falls somewhere short of the retina. Laser eye surgery changes just the front edge of the lens. It's called the cornea. And by altering the front of the lens, it allows the light to focus on the retina. And they do this by surgically removing the epidermis, if you will, of the lens. And
so
that's permanent.
the outer covering.
That's all it is. That's correct.
That's what the LASIK does.
That's correct.
When you do that, when you remove this outer covering, what happens to the lens itself? Does it change shape?
Now, the lens itself, that's LASIK. Now, gentle vision shaping, or orthokeratology, which is the generic term, the old term, basically sits on the eye, and unlike a contact lens, it doesn't have a prescription. It's literally a flat surface that's custom made for each patient. And as they sleep with it, it redistributes the epidermis, the epithelium, so that it flattens the very center of the eye. So unlike LASIK, which removes tissue, GVSS redistributes it.
Spreads it out?
That's it.
Okay.
And that allows the image to go onto the retina. Unlike LASIK, if you do not put the retainer lens in every night or two, the epidermis or the epithelium will go back into the center. So your vision will go back to where it was before we start.
That's amazing. That is
Right.
absolutely amazing. And this has been around for how long?
This is originally tried in 1960 or so, in the 60s, but it was using conventional lenses that weren't very permeable. In about 1992, technology changed where the material is extremely permeable, very safe to sleep with, and it's great for children. So my children, who became nearsighted at a very early age, at 7 years old, when they first started wearing these type of retainer lenses.
So this is something that is very safe for children.
That's correct.
And how does that, I mean, what about outcomes? If a child starts wearing this thing earlier, does that slow the progression? What does that do to the disease later on?
Sometimes what we have found clinically, and now it's being revealed through research, is that when the prescription is low, children do not seem to progress at such a rapid rate as children who wear regular contact lenses or eyeglasses. And as clinicians, we've seen this in the past, so when my children started wearing it, I really wanted to institute it as quickly as possible. It's as safe as anything we put in our eye. We were talking earlier and you said, Dr. D, I really don't feel comfortable putting something in my eye, and that's the safest option. However, next to that, something that you take out during the day that's very breathable, is extremely safe, and very effective, very effective.
Is there anybody that can't use this? What about people with stigmatisms and stuff like that?
There are some people. It is FDA approved for astigmatism and myopia. However, it's not just the prescription, it's the shape of the patient's eye. So we take into account the shape, because everybody does not have a cornea that has the same shape. It varies from patient to patient, oftentimes from one eye to the other. So subsequently, we measure the shape of the cornea, we take into account the prescription, and we determine by fitting these lenses in the exam room to see if you're a candidate. And sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. The advantage we have now, there are many companies that produce these lenses. Bausch & Lomb is a big company that now many of your viewers may have heard. They make contact lenses, contact lens solution. Paragon Vision Sciences was the original FDA-approved retainer lens.
Right. How long after you put this lens in do you start to see improvement?
You see improvement after the first night of sleeping with them. Now, your vision doesn't go from 2400 to 2020 the first night, but oftentimes you see better, and that fades away later in the day. It takes about a week to get the full effect where you're not dependent on your glasses at all.
And excuse me for sitting here shaking my head, but I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine that this is that simple.
It's not that simple. Maybe we're oversimplifying. It takes a lot of skill to fit these lenses.
No, I was
certification.
simple meaning yes. I mean, there's obviously
Sure.
skill on
Right.
your part.
Right.
But simple as far as once it's fitted, putting this baby into your eye
Right.
and waking up in the morning and going out and hitting a drive and not worrying about your glasses falling off when you're playing golf or playing
swimming.
tennis.
There's patients that love to swim or just get out of bed and go to the restroom without looking for your glasses.
Sure.
And this is huge, and that's why I thank you for having me
Oh,
over.
that's fine. I mean, it's good to get people to raise their level of awareness. Do a lot of doctors do this? Is this a specialized thing?
Initially, when I fit my children, very few doctors in the state of New Jersey.
And how long have you been doing this, by the way?
This has been going on over 10 years, well over 10 years,
Wow.
1992.
Okay.
Yeah, we started doing it, and slowly it became progressively more popular as time went on.
Talk about a niche. I like people that have niches. That's wonderful. That's a great niche to have. Well, joining us also today is a young man by the name of Nicholas. And Nicholas, last name is Nicholas Wang? Is that what it is? What is
Jason.
I'm calling you Nicholas. Jason Wang, excuse me. You're how old, Jason?
I'm 14 years old.
14 years old. And how long have you been using this system?
I've been using GVSS since December of 2003.
Since December of 2003, so we're coming up on almost 3 years.
Right.
You doing this. Now, you were wearing eyeglasses before, and are you completely off your eyeglasses?
Yeah, I don't use the eyeglasses anymore at all. So.
And how has that changed what you do, whether it be your leisure activity? I see that you play intramural basketball and you're also a violin player. Has that changed anything with regard to your schoolwork, you know, being able to see at a distance? How does that affected you?
Right, like using GVSS, without it, like usually I have to move up to the front of the board and actually sit there, then move back to my desk and work. And then, yeah, definitely the violin playing, because like sometimes I just couldn't see the music on the stand and I have to either get closer or squint, and that was uncomfortable.
What about basketball?
Yeah, that too, a little bit, I guess.
That has made a difference.
Yeah.
Are you a good violin player?
No, I try.
You try.
Oh, he's being modest.
I'm sure you're. Are you
modest.
Yeah, you've probably got those great fingers and that great concentration. If you don't mind, if you can just show us the contact lens, and just maybe take that out of that's a stand, I would imagine that thing is
right
on. And this is just a regular contact lens, like, right, Dr. Despotidis?
Without a prescription. It's really not a standard contact lens. It has different shapes to it. And the very inner surface has no prescription in it. So it can reshape the patient's cornea. So it's actually a very sophisticated lens, but it is, as you can see by its size, the shape or size of a standard contact lens.
I mean, if you looked at that,
Right.
and if you looked at a contact lens, you probably wouldn't be able to
That's
tell
correct.
the difference between the two.
That's correct.
Now, I keep calling him
Jason,
Nicholas.
yeah.
Jeez, good grief. What's the matter with me? Jason, do you put this in every night? Do you do this every night? Does your mom have to yell at you to do that?
No,
or do you
I
just
do it
do it?
independently.
You do it
Yeah, I
independently?
do everything. Like I clean them myself and then I put them away, and so I run the whole show with these.
Okay, so you just ignore your mom at this point and say, you know, Mom, I can handle this.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It's been like that since day one.
It's
these.
very good, very good.
But his mom was really concerned.
That was going to be my
initially.
question. What are parents' concerns about this?
The number one concern is safety from all parents, including my own spouse, my own wife. When I said I'm going to fit our children with these lenses.
Forget it.
Right.
You're just going to get all kinds of
My
grief
biggest
from that
critic.
one.
Sure,
Exactly.
sure. Because it is something that we're putting in our eyes. They're concerned about their children's hygiene, if
Right.
you will. But because this lens is only worn at night and removed in the morning, it is a gas permeable lens, so it's very breathable. It is a very, very safe lens, just as safe as any contact lens that's worn today.
What's your biggest issue with this? Do you have any issues with this? I mean, is there anything that bothers you about it?
Well, not really. Like I remember the very first night, like I was trying to read a book and I had to like keep going like this because, you know, my vision was kind of bouncing back and forth. But that's pretty much it. And I guess the only thing is kind of cleaning it like in the morning, having to get up a few minutes earlier, roll out of bed, and then like start the cleaning process. But it only takes about like 3 minutes in total, so it's not really that much.
So it's not
work.
that big of a deal. It really is not an issue. By the way, Dr. Despotidis, if people want to get in touch with you, if they want more information, what's the best way to do that?
It's really through our website, and it's www.gentlevisionshaping.com. And they can find a host of information there, linked to other doctors that do this, other television shows that have featured this, like Barbara Walters' The View, Sam Donaldson on ABC, so they can watch various tapes and things like that.
So once again, if people want to get a hold of you, the best way to do it is gentlevisionshaping.com. And also, folks, what you can do is you can go to my website at askdrdesilva.com, askdrdesilva.com, and we will have the same information. We'll put a link on my website for you also. Closing comments, Jason, what do you think for a 14 or a 16-year-old that's out there saying, you know, I don't know if I want to do this? What would you say to them?
Well, from my standpoint, I guess it's more abstract than glasses, and you know, once you get used to putting it in and taking it out, it's really not that scary, you know, having something on your eye for hours on end, right? And it really works, because you know, glasses are kind of like wheelchairs. They're not going to teach you how to walk, right? But they will let you get around. But then, you know, using these lenses, you know, if you skip one night, you're not going to go shooting back to like a really bad vision.
That's excellent.
So it's kind of on the road to repair.
That's excellent. You've got a career in radio and television for sure. Okay, there's no question about that. That was very well put. Dr. Despotidis, any closing comments?
Really, I just want to thank you for having me over. I mean, this is a FDA-approved technique that millions of people are not aware of. And I really appreciate the opportunity you've given me. I'm very sincere at that.
My pleasure.
To tell your viewers about this, and this way they can research it to see if it's for them.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
joining
very
us.
much.
And
Thank
folks,
you.
I thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for watching Your Natural Health. God bless you all, and until next time, I'm Dr. Derek De Silva, and may you always be blessed with good health.
Good. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
You're excellent.
Good. Thank you.